10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, welcome everybody. The crowd is going crazy tonight. Welcome back to another episode of Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am your host, the dad bod god himself, the bald, the beard, the fucking beautiful Piers Austin, and we are brought to you live, baby, by the MWA Podcast Network, where you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and all your podcast platforms, and go to mwapodcastnetwork.com to stay up to date with all of the shows and everything that we've got going on. Tonight, I have a very special guest. I'm very excited to have him on. I have Mr. Anth Cava coming on this evening. But before I bring Anth out, I want to take a quick pause for the cause to thank the sponsors that help me keep these fluoro lights I got going all day long. First up is healthvape.com, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a smoker or you're a vapor, you're one of those people, you walk around, you make noises like and chuck up big clouds, you need to get off that shit and go to healthvape.com. All of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals, and they are vitamin infused. So guys, check out their vape and pod products. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount at your final purchase. Next up, if you or someone you know is an athlete, and I know my guest this evening, Anth, is definitely an athlete. He's a bodybuilder. He's a professional wrestler. He can definitely maybe use Sleeves. Guys, check out sleeves.com. Use SL, that's SLEEFS, sleeves.com. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, compression socks, headbands, head guards, mouth guards, boots. Ladies and gentlemen, they've even got dirty boxes, and they sent me a box of these dirty boxes. And I have to say, these boxes, and I'm just going to say how many times I can say boxes in one sentence, but these dirty boxes are the most comfortable boxes that I own. I'm an active guy. I'm always on the go. I've got 3 kids. I'm in the gym. I'm running around for work, and these boxes stay fresh. They stay dry. They stay comfortable. So check them out and use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Now, ladies and gentlemen, MWA Podcast Network, we are dropping shows left and right, guys. We have 7 shows for you guys. That's a show every day of the week. Tomorrow, we have Get Funked, hosted by former WCW and TNA star Alan Kwee Funk. His guest is going to be none other than the ECW original, former WWE star, former TNA star, former WCW star, Stevie Richards. So that drops tomorrow, guys. Make sure you check it out. That is going to be 11 a.m. Australian time, which is 7 p.m. USA Eastern time that drops. So keep an eye out for that. Also, guys, make sure you check out NXT Roundup. Check out Wrestling with Sports. Also, guys, check out Killing the Business, hosted by former ECW original, The Kingpin, Angel Medina, along with King Mega and the Burger King, Glenn Sexton. Also, guys, we just had an amazing episode the other day of Knights of the Gimmick Table, hosted by the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider. Guys, make sure you go and check out these shows. They are seriously sick, and we are bringing you the best wrestling media, multimedia on entertainment level you can find. So make sure you, wherever you find us, hit that subscribe button, hit that share, like, leave us a comment. Let us know, good, bad, indifferent. Let us know what we're doing. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like, so we can make those don't likes into do likes. So guys, leave those comments, and make sure we follow them all up. But guys, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest at the moment, fresh out of a bodybuilding competition. He's got MCW Fusion this coming weekend. He is none other than Anth Cava. Anth, thank you for coming on the show.
Yo, no worries. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. How are you doing, man? Like, you just had a bodybuilding competition. You're stacked with some awards from that. Man,
Yeah,
how
man.
was that whole experience, man? Was this your first one?
Yeah, absolutely correct. So I've competed the last 2 Sundays. So yeah, it was my first time competing and bodybuilding. So it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Obviously, as I'm a body guy, if you've seen my Instagram, you would know the most jacked man in professional wrestling in Australia. So yeah, it's something I wanted to do for a long time and felt like it was the right time this year. So I gave it a crack and yeah, I'm relieved. I'm wrapped that I did it and I'm yeah proud of myself for doing it.
Man, and that's one thing I wanted to mention is, like, seeing how in shape you are is like ridiculous.
Mm.
Like, is that just like natural genetics, or how hard have you had to work to get your body to that stage and also to maintain it? Because that's also the biggest, hardest thing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's no doubt. I am what I say I am. I'm absolute excellence. It's not just genetics. I am the hardest working man in professional wrestling. I've worked my ass off from a young age to get my body the way it is right now. And there's no one person you can name in Australia that looks as good as me. Day in, day out, I'm in the gym. Everything I do, minute by minute, is working on my body, whether it's nutrition, sleep, anything. Everything affects your body. I make sure I have it all in check.
And what's the main drive for that for you? Is it because like, you don't seem like an overly vain guy? So is it basically to push yourself to the physical limit, or is it because you want to look your absolute best? Like, what is the driving factor for you?
What's the factor? Instead, I'm absolute excellence. Instead, I need to always look like this, or else it just doesn't work. I
Sure.
need to constantly drive myself to be better and better. There's the bar's always getting higher, higher and higher. Where I am now, I'm going to look better in a few months. That's my drive. In a year, I'm going to look better. That's how it works. There's no such
And as
thing as sorry, go
no,
ahead.
sorry, no.
I was just going to say, like, there's no motivation here. It's just discipline. Like, it's what I am. That's the way it is.
And like, as far as like the wrestling side of things, were you always a fan of the body guys in wrestling? Like, was that the main reason for you? Like, was that the thing? Like, the Rick
Mm.
Rude's, guys like that, were they sort of like your biggest inspiration for wrestling?
Yeah, I would say somewhat. Yeah, definitely. When I was a kid, like watching, getting into wrestling, like you see these large people, and you're like, damn, I want to be like that. But obviously, a lot of those people, let's just say, they're not as natural as me.
No.
I'm natural, so I've done it all myself. So that's why I'm better than them.
And that's the main thing, I think, which is hard on a lot of it is,
Mm.
by taking the sort of gimmicks and started getting on the sort of gear as well, you sort of go down that whirlwind of, creating problems for yourself later in life. And if you can do it naturally and do it in a way like, as I said at the start of the show, you look fantastic, and it comes from dedication and commitment.
Mm. That's right. There's no need to do it, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just harmful in the long term, and I've done it naturally. It's just why not just do it naturally? Like, you're cheating yourself out.
I mean, have you ever been tempted to sort of go down that road and saying, oh man, look, I'd love to sort of put on an extra 20, 30 kilos, or
No,
are you?
no chance at all. It's just I take it every time someone asks me that, or like they question me. Are you natural? What are you taking? This and that. I get it all the time.
Mm.
I take it as a compliment because no one can do what I do naturally. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Well, that's the
But no,
thing. Like you
never.
said, it takes a lot of commitment and sort of dedication to be able to commit to that lifestyle of doing it. But sort of getting into the wrestling, like like you've been in wrestling for a couple of years now. What was the driving
Yep.
factor for you to get into wrestling? Was it something like you've always been a fan as a kid, and it's like, you know what, now I want to
Mm.
sort of take that step and go over the guardrail? Like, where was it for you?
Yeah, so obviously I watched it as we all, as a kid. Um, yeah, and a passion for it is always sort of something that was in the back of my mind, of this cool kind of thing. Beating people up in the ring is something I love to do. Beating people up in the schoolyard, something I love to do. I've played sports my whole life, you name it. Football, superstar. I was the best in the team. All different sports, basketball, tennis, soccer, volleyball, all of them. Any kind of, martial art I've done. I've done the whole lot. So, and then finally, sort of a few years ago, so 3 years ago now, what is it, 2018 it was, yes. The MCW Academy I saw opened up. So I decided this is the right time. It was not far from my house, so I decided to give it a crack, and I haven't looked back since. So there we go. That's how it sort of
And,
happened.
and how was the tryout for you? Like, I'm assuming you went in there pretty physically fit. How, did that really sort of test you as like physically, or did you sort of go in there and go walk a piece of cake?
Not at all. It was a piece of cake for me. Look, honestly, man, there was that many people that tried out the first time I was there in the first few months. Like there was hundreds. I couldn't even tell you half their names. Not many that got through, and there's not many that are lasting till this day. There's a
Yeah.
handful, and I'm one of them. But yes, it was a piece of cake for me. Even I remember, like, the guys that were running it, they were looking at me and telling me, like, Jesus, you're insane. Like, you know, what have you done? Like, how are you this good? And they were telling me to do extra things on top of the things that was already set out for everyone else. While people were bloody vomiting, I was having to do extra stuff, but it was still too easy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How'd you find taking the bumps and stuff like that? Being the
yeah.
starting that.
The bumps are, I was used to it, to be honest. Like, I've always been a physical kind of guy, playing, as I said, different sports, football mainly, and it's always kind of fighting with friends and, mucking around in the schoolyard and, fighting with people like that. So I was used to it. So it wasn't anything new, to be honest.
And as far as like training with MCW and going up through those ranks,
Mm,
you mentioned the tryout for you was pretty easy.
yeah.
But as far as like training and developing and going into professional wrestling, how long was it before you actually got in there and had your first match in front of a crowd?
Yeah, so pretty much when I joined the academy, I was in the first ever tryout, and I'm
Mhm.
also the first ever MCW Academy member. Fun fact, which was 2018 August. So from there, I pretty much dedicated my life 100% to wrestling. So I was there every night, like you name it, every night. Monday to Friday, whenever they had training, I was there. You had, in-ring class. We had our promo class as well. Whatever class they gave, so I was there. Pushing myself to a limit. So yeah, I progressed the quickest compared to everyone. And my first match was just about a year after I sort of started getting on shows and the opportunities when I felt, when I was ready for it.
And we were talking about promos before the show went live. How did you find like doing promos and talking in front of a crowd? Was that sort of as easy for you as the physical side of things?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I can talk shit, man. Like I've always been, any kid in school trying to talk smack, give him one of these and, talk smack back. So it was natural, man. Like it's nothing new to me. Like in school, you've got all the kids trying to, you had that kind of environment when everyone's sort of bickering and bantering towards each other. That's what it is. That's all it is. And it's easy to talk, you know, to look at people and talk down on them because they don't look as good as me. So
And did you feel like being a heel was sort of like a natural sort of fit for you? Like going as being a heel, like being a guy that does sort of look, amazing and have this amazing sort of physique.
mm,
Was like the heel sort of the thing where they went, you know what, this is going to be best suited for your career? Or was that something that you really wanted to be, the bad guy, so to speak?
well, it's not like it's a natural thing. It's not, oh, this is how I was pushed towards. This is who I am.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not a gimmick. Like I am Anth Cava. I'm absolute excellence. I'm better than everyone else. I look better than everything else. That's how it came. It's not, yeah, it wasn't forced upon me. So that's how I came into the academy. So I was already like this. Um, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough, man. And as far as the development going through and making a name for yourself in MCW, like what was been the biggest challenge for you so far? Like you mentioned, the training, the promos, everything was easy. What was challenging for you?
It was challenging having to put up with everyone else in that class. Honestly, some of those kids, like, just hold me down. Like, sometimes. I'm telling you. But yeah, honestly, um, look, not a whole lot, to be honest. It's sort of like the things that are out of my hands was sort of a challenge. Sort of just biding my time and waiting for the opportunity to get put on shows. That was the things that were out of my hands. The things that I could control weren't a challenge. But yes, I just want to give a quick shout out to Skylar. Sure, she's watching here, my girl. There she is.
There she
She's
is.
commenting there. Yeah, so me and
Absolutely.
her, we've known each other since we were, this tall. Went to school together, primary school, high school. So she's been with me through this journey as well. So we joined the academy together. So it was not as challenging, even with her. Like I had her support, so there wasn't really much of a challenge, to be honest.
And the sort of
Like,
pairing you guys together sort of would have felt like a natural sort of fit as well. The fact that you guys have known each other since childhood and going in. So when you did make your
mm,
debut, did it sort of feel a little bit more, sort of comfortable? I think not as, high stressed as sort of what it could be without sort of having someone there as a support.
well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. She's always been by my side anyway. So it's sort of we were, when we joined, we were already a pair. So
Yeah.
like in school, I remember like every time, she used to have dramas with boys or like I don't know, just boy dramas. She would, call me up, hey, Kava, come here, and then I'd sort of out, take them to the corner and talk to them and depends, maybe give them a few, I don't know, but yeah, I've always been there for her, and she's always been
Gave
there for
him the
me.
big brother treatment.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you did make your debut, like who was the first match against, and how did it sort of all play out?
So first match was end of 2019, which was Wrestle Rock.
Mhm.
So I was in the Dirty Dozen Rumble. So this was December, yeah, the Christmas show. Yeah, so I was the number one entrant. Skylar introduced me on the mic as well, which is cool. And then proceeded to eliminate quite a few people, from what I remember. And yeah, so that was the first time. And then yeah, then 2020, one there, and then COVID hit. So, and then this year I've had quite a few early on this year, and then yeah, keen to go back this week.
Like, how did you find, like, because obviously debuting in 2019, then having 2020 was like, it is what it is, right? And
Yeah,
2021, it is what it is, right? So, like, being stop start, like, has that been frustrating for you though? Like, as
yeah,
far as
yeah.
the wrestling side of things, like, but also like, a guy who's like so physically fit, who's works out as much as you do. Like, how much of that was an impact for you mentally as well, not being able to train, but also the stop start of the wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2020, when the whole pandemic and COVID hit, that was really when I was picking up. That was my peak. I was training non-stop, wrestling wise, and was just starting to, my name was getting out there and get on shows, and then COVID hit. So basically, it was a big hit mentally because it was obviously out of my hands and nothing I could do wrestling wise. I kept in the scene, kept studying tapes and whatnot, and doing what I could at home. But what I could do is train. So basically, I got a home gym. I built a home gym, all the equipment I need, and basically over that 2020 period last year, yeah, still last year, wasn't it? Feels like it was ages ago. Yeah, last
Yeah, it
year,
does.
I bulked up. So I got as big as I could. Yeah, got as strong as I could, got as muscly as I could, even more than I am now. So yeah, so did what I could, and then when I came back, obviously after the pandemic, I was a lot better than everyone else. Once again, this is a common theme because how long were we in lockdown? What was it? 6 months really. overall last year. Like everybody came back 5, 10 kilos heavier, fat in a fat way. I came 5 kilos heavier, muscle. So it was even easier because people were huffing. First training back, people were huffing and puffing, and I was flying through. So yeah,
But that's
I
but
do.
but that's the thing. Obviously, that's going to make the time sort of speed past as well. But one of the things we were talking about earlier, before the show, is that you
Mm.
actually had COVID during this last set of lockdown.
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, I did
What-
have COVID, so I managed to dodge the bullet last year, the whole year, this year early on, and then I finally got it. I never thought I'd get it, but I got it a couple months ago. So it was October. I think it was about 13. So yeah, a couple months ago, um, just before we all opened up. So I was pretty lucky when I got it. Lucky it's not now, but yeah, it was just a bit of unluckiness, I guess. I'm not exactly sure, um, how I got it, but yeah, I just woke up one morning. I knew straight away. Couldn't really get out of bed, to be honest. I was, really weak. Had a headache. My nose, was running. My throat was quite sore. My breathing was a little bit off. I got tested straight away, and I had it. And then it was pretty bad for a few days, and then it sort of got gradually easier and easier. I was probably over it within a week. But yeah, I can say I beat COVID, so not many people can say that. But yeah, it
Were
was a
you
rough experience.
hospitalized at all?
No, I wasn't hospitalized. But yeah, the worst part was just being in my room for 2 weeks, basically, having to quarantine because the rest of my household obviously, didn't want to be near them to give it.
Yeah.
So I just stuck being in my room. I had to sort of just do push-ups and band and get a couple dumbbells. Did what I could when I felt like it. But got through
That's
that.
crazy though. Like, it has to be like your physical fitness to be able to get through that, not be hospitalized, and must have played a massive factor in it though.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it did. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to sort of. It's a touchy subject. I don't want to go too hard
Sure.
on this, but yeah, I think if you're physically fit, you're more likely to do well in these kind of situations where some kind of disease or virus or any infection like that. And that's why I was able to knock it off quite quickly. But yeah, I was in the middle of my prep as well. So as I said before, I just did a bodybuilding competition. The last 2 Sundays. So I was six weeks out, I think. So that was the worst part. I was. I've been prepping for months, 6 months. I've been, cutting and deficit, and
Mhm.
then bang, I'm in my room for 2 weeks. Couldn't train for a week. It was hard to, get on my foods in, stuff like that, and hard to train properly and do all the posing and stuff like that. I ended up, I lost a bit of weight from that, which is what it is. But yeah, at least I got through it.
Do you feel
Beat
it set
COVID.
you back much, like for the bodybuilding competition, those 2 weeks?
Uh, yes and no. I mean, I was cutting anyway, so yeah, yes and no. It's hard to say for sure, but yeah, definitely, like training wise, yes. Like I couldn't. Yeah, cardio was the main thing actually. Now I think about it, yeah, I couldn't do cardio, um, obviously because I was just in my room. Like I was doing, on the treadmill and Stairmaster 5, 6 times a week. And then yeah, the weights. So once I came out of COVID, like I was quite weak for quite a few weeks, so I couldn't really do the heavy lifts, your squats, your deadlifts, and your benches. Like my strength went all the way down, so it took a couple of weeks to build it back up. So yes and no, I don't use it as an excuse, but as I said, it is what it is.
But you were still able to compete though, man, and that's the biggest thing. And from the photos I've seen, you've come in there, you've got some medals out of it as well. So
Yeah,
clearly
yeah,
you didn't do too badly.
yeah. Let's see, bang. Here's all the medals right now. Tons of medals. You bet.
So what did
Tons
you
of
actually
medals.
come? Are these like first place medals that you came
Of
in for the
course, man. Of
competition?
course. All first. Of course.
There you
All
go.
first.
First competition, you've walked out there a winner as number one, man. That's pretty strong, man.
Yeah, of course.
But
Absolutely.
during lockdown, like what sort of wrestling? Like, were you still watching wrestling? Was that still sort of like a main focus as doing tape, or was it like I got to disconnect from this?
You talk about this past lockdown or just in general?
Yeah, this past lockdown.
Um, yeah, so I always obviously keep tabs on it. Yeah, um, you always want to sort of know what's going on in the scene and know what's good and what's not. kind of thing. But yeah, as well as Aussie wrestling, like I'm always following the people in Australia. Yeah, and I try to keep up with, you know, stuff in the States and stuff like that as well for what I can.
Is that a plan for you to go over to the States and work some of the companies over there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. That is the end goal one day to yeah, make it, I guess, the big time. But first, yeah, it's long term. First, obviously, I want to conquer Melbourne. So
Mhm.
Melbourne City Wrestling, first of all, that's my main goal. I want to dominate there, go through one by one, climb that ladder, defeat, every opponent there, win the championship there, do all the promotions around here, and then yeah, do interstate, Sydney, Adelaide, and all that. Work my way through Australia, and then yeah, maybe the States, do a couple tours here and there, and then see what happens. That's sort of my goal, my thinking
Yeah.
there.
So wrestling, obviously, long term is something that you want to be your bread and butter, your career, so to speak, eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, wrestling is my main profession. Bodybuilding was something I've been, obviously wanted to do. So I took a bit of wrestling took a bit of a slight back burner there the last couple of months as I was unable to do that simultaneously, which would be literally impossible. But yeah, and then obviously this is going to help with my wrestling as well, doing this bodybuilding as well.
Oh, 100%. And with your wrestling, like who drew you into the business? Like what sort of captivated you? Was there any sort of like one match? Was it a performer that sort of you saw that sort of went, you know what, I have to get into this?
Uh, Honestly, there's not really, to be honest. There's not really a specific performer or match. I'm trying to think. Uh, as you said before, sort of the big guys as well. Yeah, you got your Batistas and stuff like that. Um, Triple H and Brock Lesnar from when I was a kid. These big dudes, muscly, imposing. That's sort of the awe that made me sort of want to be a body guy and want to train in the gym. Specific match. I recall there was a match. Yeah, I think it was the 2015 Royal Rumble. It was Brock Lesnar against Seth Rollins against John Cena in a triple threat match. I know this always plays in the back of my head. I just remember Brock Lesnar. Um, he got taken out, I think mid match, and then he sort of just came back halfway through and just dominated everyone. That's something I always remember. And something that I aspire to be like, that dominant. Yeah.
Because he's like so good, like it's not even funny, like as far as like performer and everything like that. But he's one of those guys that I think doesn't get a lot of respect from a lot of fans for the simple fact is people don't see him as being a wrestling guy. Like it's like he's just some guy who just dumb
Mm.
luck fell into pro wrestling. It's like, well, yeah, I can make a living at it. And I think that there's probably a disconnect for a lot of fans, but in the same sense, like he reminds me of that sort of old school, wrestling champion, like the guy, the champion making the towns, going to the different territories, like the NWA
Mm.
days, like Ric Flair. Like he wasn't in the major promotion every single week. And I think that the
Mm.
way they book him is really good because they make him that, that spectacle as
Yeah.
opposed to just having him there every single week.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't need to because he's that good. He's legit. If I could get to that level, it'd be amazing. Like, you can't talk shit about him. He'd literally destroy anybody on that roster, um, as well as, so he's amazing.
And like obviously, like getting yourself to that sort of stage, like do you obviously want
Mm.
to sort of get your physique to the size of like a Brock Lesnar type of physique, or is that sort of like how far out of the realm of
Nah, no. As I said before, I don't think so. Um, who looks better, me or him? Like, if you look at a photo, I'm more defined. Like, look at
yeah.
these guns, baby. Look how defined my biceps are. You see my abs? Here we go. Here we go. Look at that. No, he's a bit extra chubby now, actually, as well. But yeah, I always want to be defined. I want to show off these guns. And as I said, you can't really get that big naturally as well. You know.
Oh, 100%. And in MCW, like who are some of the top names there that you'd like to sort of get in there that you haven't had a chance to wrestle yet?
Well, I haven't had a chance to wrestle many, to be honest. But yeah, the honest answer is anybody they put in front of me. Like anybody's going to be a challenge, and I'm going to defeat that challenge. But first in line is obviously Royce Chambers, who's someone that's yeah, on the rise here in Australian wrestling. He's the man on everybody's lips lately. He's done a lot of cool things. So he's number one, and I'm keen to knock him off his pedestal, to be honest. Put him in that cover lock and tap him out. But there's many. Yeah, Royce. Another man is Tony Villani. You know Tony Villani?
Yeah, I know Tony.
So he started at the same time as me. So he's a very annoying fellow. He's always been, just behind me, number two at the academy when we've been training. Yeah, so we've had a couple little battles here and there throughout the last 3 years. Yeah, so he's someone I'd love to get in the ring with on a stage, a proper stage again. Who else? Let's see. I'd love to do some stuff with Skylar. Like, we need to do a couple tags for sure. Me and her got a couple of cool stuff planned as far as like tag moves and stuff like that. Some cool little things there. Yeah.
Well, I think intergender wrestling is so big right now on an independent level that it's like, you know what I mean? Like everyone wants to see it. And I think two good workers and two people that obviously have a history together, like I'd be interested to see that tag team to see what you guys could do.
Yeah, it'd be. I'll tell you what, it'd be fun. Like we've done it before. Like in the schoolyard, we've beat people up, both of us together. So be keen to do it. Be keen to do it in the ring. Hopefully soon. Yeah, hopefully next year we get a couple of opportunities for that.
So your match coming up this weekend at MCW Fusion is against Royce Chambers. This is the first time you guys have faced off against each other?
Correct. Yes, this is the first time. So yeah, MCW Fusion is this Saturday, December 11. The first show being run out of the academy, and the winner gets a title shot against Rocky Monero, the Intercommonwealth champion. So that's something as well that that's one of my goals, to be a champion by the end of or some point next year. So this is going to happen maybe sooner rather than later. So I'm pretty keen on that.
And you've actually got a promo that you've got for us to play as well.
Yeah, correct.
So
yeah, I just dropped it not too long ago, a couple of hours ago. So yep, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Anth Cava, or my Instagram to see it.
Nice, man. You want me to play it now? We can check it out.
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it.
Let's play it out. Let's check it out. This is Anth Cava leading up to MCW Fusion against Royce Chambers. This is the promo. Check it out, guys.
Finally, this Saturday, MCW returns. December 11, MCW Fusion. This is the first show being run out of the MCW Academy, and I've got the advantage because that's my home ground, that's my stomping grounds, that's the place that I built. And my match, the winner gets a guaranteed title shot for the Inter-Commonwealth Championship. Now Rocky Monero, I don't mind you, you're a cool dude, you're a smart guy, you outsmarted my opponent before, and I'm glad that you got given that title and not Royce Chambers. Because Royce, I don't like you, but I'll admit, you've done some cool things as of late. You're all the talk of the town, you're the name on everybody's lips, but that's a problem, because it should be my name. I just competed in my first bodybuilding competition, and look at all the medals around my neck. Look at all this gold. All I need is some gold around my waist. And it's not going to be long. Because Royce, you can do all your flips, you can jump around, but I'm just going to snatch you out of midair, just like that title was snatched from your arms. And I'm going to put you in the cover lock, tap you out in the middle of the ring, and while you're lying there, you're gonna know, and everybody's gonna know what I already know, and that is that Anth Cava is absolute excellence.
What a promo, man!
There we go,
dude.
Yeah,
it's going to be a pretty amazing match, man. So, I'm looking forward to checking this out, like this match. So, but it's crazy, man. Like this is like coming back into now, like having this match and then going into have an opportunity to face against someone like Rocky Romero, someone who is a veteran of the business, and someone, getting in there to have that match with is only going to do wonders for your career as well, win, lose, or draw that match.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to face Rocky. Like he's a cool dude, as I said. Like he's been, around the scene for years and he's won many titles. So I'm keen to get in the ring with him as well. As well as Royce. Can't wait to put him in the Cava lock and end him.
There
Best
you go,
move
man. The
in
Cava lock.
Australian wrestling.
And
Yes,
was
that's
it
right.
the submission finish? Is that something that were you a fan of chain wrestling, submission wrestling? Is that why you wanted a submission for a finish?
Oh, this was something I did on the kids back in the day. Just chuck him in the Cava lock. And then I've sort of just kept it, really. I've just always, put him in this kind of maneuver. Then it sort of just evolved into what it is now. Um, but yes, I have that as well. I have a lot of powerful moves as well. So not just a submission move.
Yeah, right. So it's going to be a very quiet a contrast of styles, I think, between you and Royce, who's definitely known for his air or high flying air and
Yeah. Should be
flip.
a
So,
good one to watch. Should be a cool one to watch.
absolutely.
If that's even if he can get to a couple of flips, before I swat him out of the air. So we'll see.
Big talk,
about
man.
that.
Big talk. It's going to be an interesting match to see. But MCW, man, MCW's also got quite a few, shows coming up. I think on the 19th, MCW versus PWA as well at Thornbury Theatre,
That's
which is
correct.
another
Yeah.
amazing show.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've got that's the week after. Yeah, so next week you got the 19th. You're right. Yeah, the Sunday, PWA versus MCW, which I'm sure MCW will reign supreme. That'll be a fun one as well.
Absolutely. Are you going to be on that card as well?
You'll have to wait and see. You have to wait and see.
Well, there you go, man. And I think as well, like the year coming to an end as well for MCW. What's 2022 look like for Anth Cava?
What's 2020 look like? 2022. Okay. Basically, so I finished with the bodybuilding. So yeah, basically that was a long journey. So I've been prepping since 6 months plus 7 months. So when I started this prep, if you look at some of my earlier photos from a couple of my matches earlier on this year, I was I was bulky, 92, 93 kilos. I was like I've cut down, strict diet, very strict. Calories have been dropping and dropping. So I was down to 78 kilos, 77 kilos on the day of my comp. Yeah, so some people wouldn't even realize. So 15 kilos, I lost, or every inch of fat off my body just so I could win this gold medal, #1. Every inch of fat had to go. So all my muscles were popping out. So yeah, now the refocus, I'm going to start getting back in the gym and smashing the weights and putting on some size. So I'm going to build my size back up throughout the next few months. Back to academy full time. So I'll be going back this week in preparation for a match against Royce Chambers. And then as far as wrestling goes, MCW, I'm going to be a mainstay on MCW. All the fusion shows, of course, and MCW. And then I'm going to make my way around the Australian wrestling scene as well. And hopefully get a couple of championships around my belt to match with these medals.
Nice, man. With the weight cut for the bodybuilding, how did you find that? Like, did you have to do a water weight cut as well, like the week of? Like, and how did that sort of affect your body? Because that's a task and a half. And
so honestly, it was very tough. So obviously, I've never really done a cut before. So basically, throughout since I've started, from young age lifting, my weight has constantly gone up and up and up throughout the years. So I've never really gone down in weight. So that's something that was new to me, and it was tough because I was so used to eating so much food. Like at the start of the year, I was eating double of what I was eating a couple of weeks ago. So I was eating 4.5, sometimes probably even 5,000 calories, smashing food every hour. I was eating, eggs and oats and chicken and this and that. But, the last few months I've had to really be strict, like still eating the same foods really, but just make sure everything is measured. So I have to weigh everything out on the scale, which is quite tedious, but once you sort of get the hang of it and get used to it, it sort of becomes just part of your day. So basically, I was eating eggs in the morning, like literally like a couple eggs and some oats, whatever it was, and then it would be like literally chicken and rice, and then it'd be steak and sweet potato, and then one of those again for dinner, and then some veggies on the side, and that was literally it for the last several months. So yeah, it was constantly. It's the thing about bodybuilding is it's non-stop, 100% every part of your day. So it's not only the food, like my mood to be in check, my training, my cardio, my sleep, making sure all my other, levels of like my iron and all that, and my multivitamins, I'm taking those. Everything was in check. Um, yeah, in preparation for this comp. So now, when I finish, actually, I'll tell you I had a couple of donuts to celebrate. That's for sure. If you look at my Instagram, I definitely had a couple of donuts, and I had a Parma this past Sunday, which the first time I had a Parma in a long, long time. So I can say I well earned that Parma, unlike some people who go out every bloody weekend have a Parma and 18 beers. So I earned that Parma. So yeah, it was definitely tough, man. Yeah.
Like, did you find it physically exhausting as well? The cut, how was the fatigue though during that? Because
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Yeah, for sure. That was the main thing. Like being in a deficit, especially in a high deficit. Like I ended up eating like 2,000 calories was my limit really the last few months, around about that 2,000, 2,200. And as I said, I was eating double that really at the start of the year. So naturally, when you're eating that low of food, you've got no energy. So my energy was quite low. It's quite hard to function throughout the day. But sort of, I just had to keep it back in my head, like just envisioning that goal, the goal of these medals,
the goal of gold.
the goal of me being on stage, sort of just kept me going. Yeah, it was quite hard, like constantly. Yeah, I was tired quite easily. Mood was all over the place at times. It was hard to work. So yeah, I couldn't even couldn't even drink coffee, stuff like that. No energy drinks, just water, very strict. And then yeah, you asked before about the water load. I did do a water load for both my comps. So basically that involves I had to drink like, so I competed on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I had to drink like 5 days of water. And then it was Wednesday, Thursday, it was like six. And then the Friday, I had 8 liters of water. And then Saturday, like I cut out to 500 mils. So I cut out all the water so that flushes out your system. And then when you come in on the Sunday, like no water on the Sunday, obviously. So I look extra dry. So yeah, that was the process for that, which was quite tough as well.
Yeah, man. Cutting weight fucking sucks, dude. And I definitely
Yeah.
feel for you on that one, man. But the drive was to get there and do a bodybuilding show, man. And you did that. You went in there and you conquered, and you really sort of showed them what to do. And for a person who did it the first time, going out there and being able to go and come in first against guys that have done it, for years, man, I take my hat off to you, man. It's a hard task to do.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's right. Like a lot of these people, obviously, all these guys are amazing, man. Like the dedication, like they've been doing it for years. So it was yeah, it was awesome. I could look at the photos on my Instagram, like it was tough. So yeah, I'm glad I did it. Yeah, I could tick that one off the bucket list, and now MCW Intercommonwealth Championship is the next on my bucket list. That's for sure.
That's it, man. But look, ladies and gentlemen, is that time of the show. It is time for 60 seconds with Piers. We've told Anth how this is going to work. If it's the first time watching, how this game works is I'm going to fire a bunch of questions off at Anth. He has 60 seconds to answer as many as he can. Anth, are you ready to get the game started?
I guess so. Let's see.
All right. No worries. Favorite song to sing at karaoke?
Oh, Where's the Love? Black Eyed Peas. Let's give it that.
Snapchat or TikTok?
Oh, Snapchat, I guess.
Early bird or night owl?
I'm a night owl. I'm staying up late. Get shit done.
What is the funniest thing to happen to you recently?
Got COVID.
Fair enough.
Quite funny.
If you were given a lion as a pet, what would you name it?
A lion. I'll
Yep.
call it. Jeez, what would I call it? I'll call it Anth Cava. It's a beast of the jungle.
Would you rather the
Seriously.
ability to read minds or move things with your mind?
I'm gonna read minds. Why wouldn't I read minds? I know
If
what
you were to
everyone's saying.
release,
It's crazy.
if you were to release an album, what genre of music would it be?
Probably rap. Enjoy rap mostly.
Fair enough. What would your autobiography be called?
This is absolute excellence.
And who would play you in a movie about your life?
Oh, who would play me?
Yep.
Jesus. John Cena?
Fair enough. And last one that we ask everyone,
20 years.
the last question we ask everyone on the show is, in 5 minutes, you are being shipped to outer space. What two personal belongings do you take with you, excluding human beings?
Shipped into space, hey? Well, a dumbbell and another dumbbell. How's that?
Hey, man,
That's
works
all
out
I
well,
need.
brother.
That's
That's
all
all
I
you
need.
need.
I could do any exercise with those dumbbells.
That's it. And look, that has been 60 Seconds with Piers. And thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. But where can everyone find you on social media and also support you and buy some merch?
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, no merch currently because nobody deserves it right now. Maybe one day. I don't need to sell my merch. I don't need money from anyone. I've got enough money. Look at all these medals. I won that much money on the weekend. Whew, I'm laughing, mate. I'm laughing. But yes, follow me if you want. You don't have to. If you do, you're just going to feel bad for yourself because you're going to see my photos and how ripped I am. But yeah, Anth Cava on Instagram. Facebook as well, Anth Cava, Twitter, Anth_Cava, because some idiot stole Anth Cava, I think. YouTube as well. Follow me on YouTube. I'll be dropping a lot of videos on YouTube. I'm going to start that up, get going with that. So I just dropped that Royce video. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, like that video. I'll be uploading my vlog videos from my bodybuilding competitions over the last couple of weeks. So I took videos throughout that day, my journey on my first bodybuilding competition. So that'll be dropping soon. So definitely subscribe if you want to see that. But yeah, Anth Cava on Instagram.
There you go, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
it.
Go follow Anth Cava, support him. Make sure to check out MCW Fusion as Anth goes up against Royce Chambers for #1 contendership for Rocky Monero's MCW Inter-Commonwealth Championship. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in tomorrow for Stevie Richards as he sits down with Alan Kwee Funk on an episode of Get Funked. Myself, I've got another episode of Shooting the Shit Uncensored this Friday night at 1 a.m., which is going to be 9 a.m. USA Eastern Time, with the current MLW National Openweight Champion, Alex Kane. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. Until next time, this is Piers. Thank you to our sponsors, Sleeves, and thank you to healthvape.com. We'll see you again very soon. This is Piers, this is Anth, and this has been Shooting the Shit Uncensored. Peace.